Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a price prediction for Bitcoin during the next Bitcoin halving, plus also a little formula that I found to actually work out the Bitcoin, or shall I say a price prediction, a little formula to work out a price prediction on the next few upcoming Bitcoin halvings as well. So we're going to be taking a look at that. Then in the next video, we're going to be looking at how you can make yourself $1 million with just $1,250 right now today during the next Bitcoin halving. So that's what we're going to be looking at. In the last video that we just did, we were looking at this here, the Bitcoin halving dates going into the future until the final Bitcoin halving, which according to this we've worked out because the Bitcoin halvings do happen a lot sooner than ever expected. In fact, if we scroll all the way back down here, just to remind myself, it is quite a way into the future. So do believe Bitcoin is certainly going to be sticking around here. So here it is, it's 2078 that is the year I predict that the last Bitcoin halving, the last Bitcoin will actually be mined into existence, bringing up to the maximum supply of 21 million Bitcoins. I cannot imagine how it could possibly be, as you've seen here on Google, 2140 being the year that it happens. There's just, I just don't know. Mathematically, that does not work. Right, so I don't know where they get that from. I think it's just something that gets regurgitated in the media. People that write these news articles or blogs probably write this here: when will the last Bitcoin be mined? And that's the answer that they get from Google. So that's what they just keep pumping out over and over again. But nobody is actually running the numbers. Nobody's actually checking this stuff. So if you do check it for yourself, you do run it up in Excel, you will find somewhere around there is going to be when it's going to be. So anyway, that was the Bitcoin halving. Hopefully you've seen that video already, and now we're going to get into the price predictions. So now that we know everything we know about the halvings and when they're going to happen, how can we actually predict the price into the future? And what we have here on this Excel spreadsheet is these are the dates of the Bitcoin halvings, or at least up until the end Bitcoin would be mined, and what we would be getting per block for the mining reward at this point here. So from 50, 25, 12.5, that's what we're on right now, going down to 6.25 in just a few weeks. And you know what this means for Bitcoin. Now, fundamentally, this is what you really need to be understanding. So if we take a look at what this actually means right now, so 12.5 Bitcoin, this is what a miner would receive for mining a block. So right now, 12.5 Bitcoin is worth $85,000. Now that may sound like an awful lot of money, right? I know it certainly does to me. I would love to mine just one block of Bitcoin. That would be fantastic, but there's lots of costs associated with that. You need to buy an awful lot of ASIC miners, which cost a good few grand each, and then you've got the ongoing electricity costs of powering those ASIC miners for weeks and weeks, maybe months into the future, so that you can actually mine one of those blocks and get yourself 85 grand. It is a very expensive business to be getting into, and one that I found here in the UK, because of the cost of electricity, it's just really a no-go. Not just for mining Bitcoin, but mining any type of cryptocurrency. You just can't seem to do it here in the UK because the electric is too expensive. This is why most of it is done out in China, where they've got subsidized electricity. So fundamentally speaking, for the cost, the financial outlay of actually mining Bitcoin and keeping the network operational, that is really how much you need to be making right now. And when this Bitcoin halving gets reduced to 6.25, well, obviously if we have a look at the current price, just 6.25 Bitcoin, we're going to go all the way down there to just 42,000. Obviously, that is not enough for miners. They would need to shut down. They cannot sell Bitcoin at that price because they're going to be taking a massive loss. And they are a business. They do this as a business, so they can't afford to take those kind of losses. So they're really going to be holding on to that Bitcoin, waiting for the price to be going up higher. And when you factor in the fact that over the years, mining Bitcoin, because of the hash rate increasing, mining the Bitcoin, it just gets more and more expensive as we go. So if we have a look at one of the, this is how much you would get as a block reward. Few years down the line, I know, but sort of taking this right to the end for Bitcoin, eventually this will be the block reward. And currently at the price right now today, this is what that block reward would be worth, $2.61. As we've just seen, to mine a block, it's going to take about $80,000 there, or at least that's what you would be getting in return for mining a block. Right now, the block reward in the future, which is with the figure you see there, the 0.0038, that's what you'd be getting in the future for mining a block. Currently, it's only worth $2.61. Fundamentally, there is no way that is going to work. Bitcoin has, long term, it has to go up in value. So if you're planning on investing into Bitcoin as a sort of a long-term investment, you're definitely in the right place. There's no doubt about that. So let's just have a look now at the prediction. Right, so as it says here, the price predictions are based on the 4 yearly intervals. So basically 2 years after the halving. So smack bang in the middle, in between the halving. So the figures that you're going to see here in this chart below is not the highs, as you obviously know. The high here is about 19,000, but this is the sort of the 2 years prior. So about 2 years ago, the price was 9,031, and 2 years prior to the previous halving in 2016, the price was 610, and so on. Okay, 28 cents. Don't you wish you'd bought $100 worth of Bitcoin at that price? That would have been absolutely life-changing, no doubt. But the thing is it still can be an investment in Bitcoin today, can still change your life completely. So for the future price predictions, just down below here, which I'm going to reveal in just a second, what I did was I found some sort of formula looking at the highs, the lows, and the halvings, because as you have a look at the Bitcoin stock to flow model here, you can see that it does sort of go up in this nice big curve, which is fairly predictable at this point. Now that we've done a couple, 3 different halvings in the past, it does get fairly predictable. But one thing to note is that is the highs, the greens that you see here are a lot higher than what the stock to flow ratio says it should be. So say if you go here, the stock to flow is the blue, says 125, 113, yet the actual price on the day is 850. And if we go to the previous halving there, well, the halving would have been back here somewhere, but the high would have been over here. This, it should have been about 19,000. Can we see that? If I can find it, there you go, 19,300. But the stock to flow says the price is only 5,000. So as we go into the future and you see the stock to flow here going up from sort of 14 up to 30,000 and beyond, do bear in mind that that doesn't mean that's what the price will be. That just means that is where the stock to flow ratio is, but the peaks will be a lot higher and the dips significantly lower. Okay, so you know, it's not a stable price. This is just a sort of an average mean price. And just a quick glance here on the price on the stock to flow graph, you can see it does go up then in about the end of 2021, leveling off around the sort of 100,000 mark, and then it goes up again up to just about $1 million there in the future. So on my chart, what I was doing is basically looking at the highs, the lows, and the halvings, and the relationship between each of those figures. Now, you've probably already heard that the lows are always in around sort of 80% lower than the previous high. So it'll go up to an all-time high, then it drops about 80% and then comes back up again. Now, the halving point, the point where the halving generally type of happens, is going to be about 50% lower than the all-time high. So the low after the all-time high is 80% lower. The halving point about 50%. So we should be looking around the sort of 9,000 mark at this next halving. We're just underneath that now, around about 7,000, which is fine. You know, this isn't an exact science. But what I did right here, so we can see the highs right here. This is the actual figures, and then the figures that you can see just above. This is calculations which I performed. I found a formula based on these previous high, low, and halving prices. I was able to calculate roughly where the next all-time high would be. And down below here, I did it again on the previous halving and calculated roughly where the next all-time high would be. You can see that is the actual figure. That is the figure I found with the formula that I was using. And I can't show this formula because I'm actually going to be using this on a few other altcoins like Litecoin, Ethereum, etc. to see if this actually is something that works across the board. If it is a formula that will work right across the board with a lot of proof of work coins, then I might be building that into our site, Moocharoo Ninja, as one of the tools in the masters area. So I didn't want to sort of display exactly what this formula is right now, keeping it kind of sneaky like, you know. So as we go down, what we can see here as a price, remember this is the in-between halving price here, we can see the price would be about 100,000. This is based on these calculations over here. We'd be looking about 100,000. Now we've seen here on this stock to flow ratio was as well about 100,000. So that is the same. And then the next halving point, so this would be about 2025. We'd be looking at about 500,000 for Bitcoin, and then following it on from there, we're looking at about 1.6 million. Again, these are not all-time highs. These are just a sort of average between halving points, you know, sort of an average price of Bitcoin. If we go down again, we've got 2.6 million. And over here, when you look at percent change, first of all, from 28 cents through to 610, we could see that the percent, you know, the gains, the ROI was incredible. I mean, absolutely life-changing. The last halving was significantly less, just 1,300%. And then it goes down. Again, this is not based on all-time highs. This is based on the sort of the average. Okay, so this is the price between the halving points. Okay, so this isn't all-time high values. 1,300%, 1,000%. You can see the percentage gradually going down over time. I don't know if we've got another figure in here. No, that's about where I stopped. So the chances on average to make significant money from Bitcoin is going to decrease over time as Bitcoin does find its true value. But, you know, you can see from here, you know, the true value would be in the millions for Bitcoin. Right, there's only 21 million available. If that was going to be a new global currency, you really just you are looking at millions for Bitcoin, no doubt about that. So if we go down here, let's try and pick out that much. This should be the next halving point. So the high for the next halving should be 190,000. Okay, so what will likely happen, what you'll see happen is maybe like up to a year after the halving point next year, we're going to see the price gradually go up to around the sort of 100,000 mark. And then quite likely, as soon as Bitcoin does breach that 100,000 mark, it is going to be all over the news, and very, very likely within the space of about 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, it'll go from 100,000 all the way to 190. This happened last time, okay? Everyone was predicting 10,000 for Bitcoin, and then as soon as it hit 10 and it broke 10, within like 1 week, it went up to near 20,000. Probably very, very likely to happen here. Again, I did not come up with this just out of my head. It was from the formula which I used here and the previous two halvings to come up with this figure here based on the high, low, and halving price down below there. So this is all sort of a mathematical formula. It's not just complete nonsense. And going down from there then for the following halving, I'll just show you that one now. That actually puts the high at being 1.2024 million right there. So, and then it would probably be coming down here to sort of 500,000 as a kind of average for Bitcoin. So I got a lot of people asking me, you know, around now, they're looking at the price here, 6,000, and, you know, they're asking me, should I be buying Bitcoin right now? You know, is this a good time to buy? Should I wait till it goes down here to 6,000? Wait if it gets into 5, something like that. At the end of the day, guys, if it does go into the millions for Bitcoin, what does it matter? Okay, what does it matter? If you're getting it this cheap, people will be having your out. They will not believe that you managed to buy Bitcoin at 6,000. or 7,000 or 8,000. If Bitcoin reaches 1 million, everyone will wish that they bought in today. And do not forget, obviously, this is all based on fundamentals here. With the cost of actually mining Bitcoin, it has to go up. There's no doubt about it. It has to go up. The cost of mining will increase as well over time. And yeah, for sure. Why will it not be worth millions? Plus, you've got the current pandemic. They're printing off dollars like there's no tomorrow. There's so many reasons why Bitcoin is going to be worth so much more in the years to come. So yeah, for me, I'm pretty much all in on Bitcoin and crypto. I hope you are too. And just do let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on Bitcoin halvings and the predictions and all that type of stuff. Love to hear from you. Love to hear your ideas. And yeah, that's it. In the next video, we are going to be talking about how to make $1 million during these Bitcoin halvings just over the next couple of years if you've only got $1,250 to be spending right now today. Okay, so how you can make $1 million, become a millionaire. Pretty much anybody in the world at this point can become a millionaire with Bitcoin. You just need to sort of realize the potential, realize what's going on. Everyone wishes they bought Bitcoin 10 years ago when it was just worth pennies, but to be honest, okay, it was just a complete and utter gamble back then. Now it's pretty much a done deal. This is going to happen. It's just the way that the world is going now. This is not really a gamble as it would have been back then. It's pretty solid investment as far as I'm concerned, but obviously it's not financial advice. This is just my personal opinions, and I shall see you hopefully in the next video. Do hit subscribe, make sure you don't miss it, and I shall see you then.